Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. You probably know my story by now. I took the DNA test with MyHeritage, and what it revealed is, even though my mom is half Italian and half Mexican, because my great-grandparents moved from those countries, Mexico and Italy, it actually revealed I'm 0% Italian, which, you know, that was a month and a half ago, and I've learned a lot since then. How could it be that I'm not Italian? How could it be that I'm more Spanish instead of Italian? And granted, my mom is also half Mexican, so that would explain, but there was too much Spanish. There was more Spanish than even my Mexican grandmother could have contributed. It really threw me off. Well, as you know, the update last weekend, my mom's results came back, also through MyHeritage. And it actually revealed that she is part Italian. It was like 4% or whatever. It was a little bit, when it should have showed closer to 50% in theory. It showed she was about 1/10 of what she thought she was Italian, according to the test. And instead, it actually implied that she's about 15% Jewish and about 14% Middle Eastern beyond being Jewish, like Libyan or Iraqi or something like that. So this Italian side, of course, my great-grandfather had an Italian name first and last and only spoke Italian, barely spoke English when he died in 1983. So I'd been reading the comments and I was thinking, okay, I get it. You know, Italy was this melting pot. All kinds of ethnicities ended up trailing through there. And in theory, yes, an Italian family can move here to America 100 years ago and have this collection, this kaleidoscope of all these ethnicities. You could be Middle Eastern, you could be Jewish. You can even be part African, because that's what it showed up in my mom's test. All these things under the impression that you're Italian when you're barely Italian. Still, Jewish nor Italian showed up on mine, or African. None of those showed up on mine, but they showed up on my mom's. So why isn't it this perfect science? Why am I not showing up 7.5% Jewish or 7% Middle Eastern? Instead, I only showed up 0.8. Why is it that my mom showed these different things? Everything else pretty much add up. But I didn't show as much Jewish, Middle Eastern, showed no African. What's the inconsistency there? So here's my understanding, and please, I'm begging you to correct me if I'm wrong. My newest understanding about all of these tests, whether it's MyHeritage or 23andMe, whoever it is, the basic takeaway is this. Please correct me if I'm wrong. These tests are ultimately measuring our more dominant genes. So therefore, in theory, like my sister's taking a test through 23andMe, so hopefully in a month we'll know how that turns out. So in theory, I can take a test, my sister can take a test, my mom, like even between my sister and I. See, the way I used to view it is, oh, our test should come out exactly the same. But my understanding now is it doesn't work that way, because my sister's may show up more something else. Hers could show up more Central American, because again, we're part Mexican. Her percentage of that could be even higher than mine was. Mine was like 23%. Hers could show up even higher than that. And she could show up Middle Eastern, whereas I didn't show up at all. Whether or not we go through the same company, and I understand that can have some effect on it, but more importantly, I think it's really confusing when you go through the same company and then a relative has that much different. And I think that explains it to me. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So is that what it is? Basically, it's a way, the most dominant genes are going to show up the most on there. My mom has more dominant genes in there that are Jewish and Middle Eastern and African. And my more dominant genes are Spanish. That's my understanding of it. So, I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm asking you, you know a lot more than I do. Is this true? That these tests ultimately measure the more dominant genes in your gene pool, which is why even identical triplets would not have the exact same test results. Even if they went through the same company, they'd have somewhat varying results in there, right? Help me out. I don't know the answers. I am humble. I am asking for you to teach me, enlighten me. Please tell me the truth. Please teach me. I come to you in all humility. Teach me. Teach me. I need to know the truth.